Hello and welcome to episode 562 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, a place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt, and joining me as always is the artist and creator of Vanguard, the epic webcomic that's going to be here in 2026 and ripping your face off. That man is Daniel Butcher.
Hello.
And if Daniel Butcher is smoky, then who is our bandit? It's Tony Esmond.
The dumb bandit, the Tony Esmond.
Yeah. The one-arm bandit?
No,
keeping that whole Vegas thing alive?
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of the machines had fake things, levers. I wanted them to work.
What do you mean fake levers? What, was it just
like
buttons?
The fruit machines? Yeah, and
it's
they had a lever on the
isn't
side
it?
of it. But
it's digital, so it's kind of...
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes
it's a weird
get some
kind of
exercise
relic.
doing that.
Sometimes you just want to give it a good yank, don't you?
Yeah, just grab it by the end and pull it really hard.
Pull it really hard until it all
comes gushing out.
It all comes out the bottom.
The money.
This is a show about comic books and the people who make them.
Can I put a disclaimer in here? Yes, I know Stanley didn't create the Silver Surfer. That was a joke that comes later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
But speaking of comics and events, especially an event later on this year that you definitely want to check out, especially if you're an indie creator in the UK looking to table in this strange landscape of conventions that we find ourselves in these days, then look forward to our chat with the one and only Shane Chebsey of Scratch Comics.
Yeah, good landing.
It's a great chat, and this show, we've been going for a while now. We've seen the ups and downs of comics, creators come, creators go. We survived pandemics. In some ways, some would say that this show is invincible. And speaking of invincible, this week that was class. I appreciate Dan. I appreciate Dan. There's haters on this show, and then there's the respect.
Listen, simply shaking your head about something does not make you a hater. Otherwise, I would hate non-stop every day.
You weren't just shaking your head though. People actually heard you go, no.
That's not hating. I would have said, fuck you, Vince, as you segue.
Yeah. Well, you've done that before. Yeah, but no, ring that bell. It's time to talk about Invincible Comics this week.
Yes.
And a particular Invincible incident.
Right, I fucked up.
No, Tony.
It's not Tony.
No,
it's not Tony.
No.
It's not.
And
can I explain the situation then?
Yes.
Sure.
Now, don't panic. We all love each other on this show, so nothing to it. But Tony, take it away.
Right, I haven't read the whole of Invincible. I'll be honest with you. I never claimed to. No, I haven't. I've read. I think I've got maybe 4 trades up there.
Yeah.
About 4 trades. So Invincible 1 came out this week, and I sent a picture of it to Dan and said, "Are you on this?" Presuming
Invincible Returns, it said.
Invincible Returns, issue 1, and presuming that it was a new series that I'd read online. I think I vaguely remember reading online. There's a new series of Invincible because, or a new issue of Invincible because the cartoon's back. Is it season 4? I don't know.
Season 4, yeah.
So it's back. I said to Dan, "Have you read this?" And then I said, "Look, it seems to be mostly recap, like almost like keying it up for a new story, which is what I presumed it was."
Yeah.
It did feature things that
I had partly seen. It's new art on covers. There's new covers.
Yeah, there's also these there's a lot of variants. There's also these variants of a lot of the line of similar books. For example, Capes has got a variant. I think Spawn has a variant. I think there's various comics also have these variants, these Invincible variants. And I presumed it was another series of Invincible, so I sent it to Dan, and Dan ordered it, and then realised it's just a cut and paste of old issues.
Yes.
Is that right? Is that how it worked?
Well, yeah, it's pretty much it. But I thought, I've not heard about this. I'll give this a Invincible 1. It's called Invincible Returns. A bold new era begins here on the cover.
That's exactly what it says. It says nothing about the other name for what the publication is, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's number 1.
Open.
The details was released on March 25th. Page count 40. Cover price $4.99. Bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Nice art.
So
I thought that's nice art. It's a bit wordy, but
it's basically like a highlight reel from previous issues of Invincible to get. I think we found out now that to get readers or watchers of the cartoon up to speed on the cartoon sort of, but it's not quite the same.
Which, as a practice, is fine. It's fine. If you want to try and get some,
I'll make you right on that.
Get some sort of shared. I can understand it from a publishing aspect, and also to possibly bring new readers in as well. Something like get them caught up. I have no problem with that.
But I can't be helped be a bit fucked over on this because, like, you branded this an issue 1, Invincible Returns, a bold new era begins here.
Yeah.
So I just bought it off the strength of that, thinking, they're starting the comic game.
And on the Image Comics website, it says Invincible Returns Facsimile Edition, which of course means
we all know is a reprint.
Reprint.
Like quite a good, nice little reprint.
Yeah.
Marvel have done an awful lot of these.
Yeah. Now, if you see on image.com like the synopsis for this, I won't read it all out. You know, it talks about it's a special reprint featuring the first appearance of Thrag, who debuts in season 4 of the Invincible animated series. There's a bit more saying get people up to speed. It's not completely clear that this is just that. I personally, and this is someone who has, I've read a bit of Invincible. Dan is the Invincible expert, if we can call that. You know, I know it's a series you absolutely love, Dan.
Yeah.
Very close to your heart. Which means that almost levels up how much disdain I have for this in its own way, because it feels like you're a fan. It's part of your comics DNA. You love Invincible. You see this, Invincible Returns. It's got new covers on it. Doesn't say anything about it being a facsimile edition. It doesn't say anything else.
No.
Anyone who looks at that will think, shit, Invincible's come back, and they might buy it sight unseen. Some people, when they do the Wednesday shop, they might. People don't always flick through the books, do they? They don't always. Sometimes they're like,
I bought mine off Forbidden Planet website.
Yeah.
Which is a scroll on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this page I'm looking at, there's not even
right?
there's no preview pages on the page I'm looking at either. It's just the
three FP website.
The three covers, right? I think it's a piss take. I think that's a sort of a publishing marketing piss take. What they've done there.
It's a grift, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, you know, I'd be interested to see how many other people fell for this.
Yeah,
because that's what that sounds a bit harsh to say that. But it feels like how many people fell for this. Like it is something that lots of fans picked up and just went, what? It's $5 as well. We can't, in this day and age, you can't fuck about with $5.
It's not labelled as a special or a one-off or tie-in. It's labelled as issue 1.
Yeah. We can't find an issue 2 on the FP site.
No.
Yeah.
It's confusing me because at the end, when they finish doing the recap, it's like the Viltrumite War starts with issue... Is it 47? And I was like, what does that mean? Are they saying that the people who are reading this 71, you can now go to 71 in the issue and carry on reading, but who's this for? Is this for the comic reader or the people looking at watching the anime?
We talked about this earlier, and I said it should be a free comic book day.
Absolutely, I think you're absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
To give out something like this, like I say, the whole idea of it's not a stupid idea.
Which makes me go back to what we will talk to Shane about in a minute. Is I think this might be for the speculator market.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's also in the way that they're wording this, right? There's a certain copy and paste sort of a job going on, I think, here. But if you look in the synopsis, if you've never read Invincible, now is the time to dive in. The series finished fucking years ago. And if you've if you've been reading since the beginning, you know it's all been leading up to this moment. Either way, hold on to your hats. That feels like something.
What I thought.
That was a bit of copy that I bet came from the original fucking issue.
That's bad, man, because I never made it to the end. I made it about halfway through, not because it's bad, just because there's so many comics in the world I can't read them all. But I thought, this is a good place. I've heard Dan talk about it. There's so much love for it. I'll jump on the new series. And I read it and didn't even realise that. I thought it was just like a recap issue, so they could throw themselves into it in issue 2.
Yeah. Which obviously, listeners, if you know more,
people are going to write and they'll go, "Oh, didn't you see this?" No, I didn't.
No,
did Dan.
No,
yeah,
we didn't.
Events.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, there's only so much information you can take in all the time, and with all these new comics, you just be like, "Shit, there's a new Invincible." I'm not going to just because I hear there's a new Invincible, I'm not going to go searching for
we don't need to research
journalistic articles
about a new thing.
Yeah.
New Invincible. New.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It makes me wonder, like, how other publishers would have done something like that. You know, would they have like a Marvel or DC? Have they done reprints and you'd be like, "Oh shit, this is an old comic"?
going back to my Vegas week, I went in a couple of comic shops, and along the top shelf, the very top shelf, sometimes they'll have old comics or they'll have some sort of special editions or something like that. It was all the facsimile editions from Marvel. And it was because they just released Silver Surfer 1. They'd done it as a... I think even the adverts and stuff are the same.
That's one of the ones where I got issue 1 of X-Men, wasn't it? When I went to Chicago. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did like a foil cover as well for it. So they did like a variant for it, Silver Surfer 1. But along the top were all these issues. And from a distance, I thought, oh, is that like a really mint copy of that FF issue? And I'm like, oh, no, it's facsimile.
But but the thing is, it's still taking the existing cover that what exists. Like, you see an old Fantastic Four cover, do you know what I mean, or something like that, and with a new, and they've printed it new, you're like, oh, they've reprinted that old book. This looks like it's got 3 fucking new covers.
Yeah, it's all new,
and
all
it's
new
called
artwork.
New Invincible.
Yeah,
it's fucking.
I wonder how much of my life has been reading the same comic sometimes. I
Probably,
think maybe I'm stuck in some kind of psychic loop of like reading the same
before you had your app, you were buying lots of the same comic over and over.
Very true.
So,
Saved some money again yesterday, my friend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. But of course, we're only going on certain information, so, let us know if, or not necessarily this one, but have you ever fallen for something like this? Or, picked up a comic thinking it was an original and, oh shit. Many people have done this with variant covers. With variant covers have made things very difficult for a lot of people.
How many issues of Vampirella have we all bought? Yeah.
Is that just a normal question?
Yeah. Troy loves a bit of Vampirella.
I do the old working off memory. I don't have really enough comics to justify the app, and there's certainly times I've bought stuff and thinking, I ain't got that one, and you get it. It's a fucking variant. It's just a variant.
Yeah,
like,
I did it with Battle Beast on impulse the other day. I ordered another issue of a second issue of issue 4 or something of Battle Beast. Then I realised because it was like the third print of Battle Beast with a different cover, and I'm like, oh, they caught me there.
There's probably
have you
lots
guys
of
read
times.
that yet?
No, I haven't yet. I've got that lined up to it. Yeah, but there's probably a lot of people as well that have that. When you buy those comic bags from a Forbidden Planet or whatever, where they put a load of issues in, you think, oh, cool, I've got an issue of. Oh, it's just one with a different cover. Because
there's a blind bag thing.
Blind bag thing, yeah.
I know what they've done with me there is. You remember when we did the Battle Beast blind bag opening? I got a blind bag. Do you remember? And I got issue 2. I was like, fuck, I need issue 1 now.
Yeah,
that was the problem with it.
Man, I've got mixed feelings about that because it's fucking gambling.
Yeah,
it's straight up gambling. Like they did it with that Daredevil comic that I.
Oh
yeah.
Have you read that Daredevil issue 1?
Yeah, it's just a massive nothing burger.
Oh, is it?
It's just.
I bought it.
Is that a new character? A new Marvel character?
Nothing burger.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Give us fan art of Nothing Burger, please.
Nothing Burger's teaming up with that fucking shark.
It's not shit. Jeff the Shark. Yeah. It's not shit. It's not great though. I don't know why everyone's sort of going nuts over it, but
speculator market again, mate. That's what I think.
And because there's a TV show and these things feed off,
at least they're bringing out an issue 1 when a TV series is coming out.
Yeah.
At least they're finally fucking pulling their finger out.
It's the actual the main
Wonder Man
character.
issue 1 came out this week. How long's that TV series been out for? Good few months.
Yeah.
Not that it looks anything like the comic.
No.
Or is anything like the comic.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that TV series, but it's nothing to do with the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't watch it because of that reason. Yeah.
But I know, listeners, it seems like we all woke up and chose violence today.
Are you drinking scotch?
Dan's drinking scotch. I've
black Coke.
Can I recommend tequila and apple juice?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
like Tequila Mockingbird,
so I can't touch it. Hey.
When you say Dan?
I got alcohol poison on tequila years ago, and I can't fucking touch it.
Can't do it now.
Oh dear.
It's like me and cinnamon. Can't do cinnamon, can I?
Just like when we went out that night, and you had a Chinese the night before and was sick on it, which meant we couldn't have a Chinese that particular Saturday night, and I was really looking forward to a Chinese Saturday.
That's fair.
Well, that one where
it's fair, but I was really looking forward to a Chinese.
We'd organised going to a massive Chinese with a big table. We could all sit around it, and Dan couldn't do it
because I sent you a picture
he ate a Chinese covered in dust. Whoever it was.
My dad said to me, go check out the Chinese. It's a good restaurant. I went in there and they had like bottles of soft drink and all the labels were
the original Lil.
Sitting there so long. Yeah, and they probably had like fucking dust around it. I was like, is it a good idea to get food from here? And then there was loads of people coming out in and out, and I thought, well, like the delivery drivers, I thought it's got to be up to
not people on stretchers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
but Dan, despite that, you're an absolute champ on the day. So yeah. But
like the cinnamon challenge. It's been a while since we talked about that. I still can't do cinnamon. That's like 15 years ago.
Really?
Was it a teaspoon of
You can't.
cinnamon?
It's not possible to swallow it because it's so dry, and I ended up fucking chucking up. Some came out my nose when I was trying to do it, which made everyone laugh. And then the following day, I had to leg it. I legged it off the train too early, like 2 stops early. Ran into a Costa Coffee, and there was like a fucking smoke bomb had gone off in the Costa Coffee toilet.
Oh, mate. I saw one the other day. You can't dry swallow more than 4 times. Don't try and do it. It's not a very nice experience.
No, right.
Really? Wow. While we're making ourselves
try
ill,
that, listeners.
and trust us, we didn't all wake up and we didn't all wake up and choose violence today because it's Easter. Hope you're having you've had a lovely Easter, everyone, and you've eaten plenty of eggs. But while we're just trying to not kill ourselves here by trying to swallow either without things or things that we shouldn't, instead let's talk about the joyous world of comics. Should we talk to someone who's just absolutely loves comics?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, this week we're joined by creator, writer, event organizer, entrepreneur. I have a problem with that word, but I try to say it, of comics, an all-round top chap behind Scratch Comics, who's quite a busy boy, aren't you, Shane Chebsey?
Yeah, I am, mate. Yeah, far too busy to be on here, to be honest. But
I know. This is probably your 1 free hour of the week, isn't it? I think.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're often sort of pulling the strings in the background. We've had a few guests on who you've sort of put our way, which is very kind of you. But good to have you back, man.
Oh, thank you, man. It's really good to be back. It's been a while. I remember the last time I was on. Actually, it was good fun. And I think I was just bringing out Comics Salopia then. So we're talking.
Nice.
4 years ago. Maybe?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good chat, and I think the first time I was on, I have no recollection really of that. It's so long ago.
We have that every week.
Yeah,
that's what we like.
There's a certain amount of trauma that goes with being on this show that I think all of our guests can appreciate. But no, it's good to have you back, man. And you haven't stayed in the quiet, have you? Really? Because with Scratch Comics just going gangbusters, as well as events and everything else. Since we had you on last, how have things been for you in the sort of comic scene, in the UK comic scene?
Every time I seem to hear from you, you've got some other comics pro involved in a comic you're doing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily writing, but doing. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird one because I did sort of take a little bit of a break for a while.
Yeah.
I took a conscious break, but I don't think that was really perceived because there was still stuff going on.
Yeah.
And in my personal life, I had some troubles. I've had some health problems. I've had some both physical and mental health problems, which screwed me up a little bit. And so there was a break.
How you doing now, man?
I'm all right, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good news.
But yeah, it messed me up a little bit for a while, and so I did take a break. But
which you need to do, don't you?
I think
it's very important. We talk about comics, and, just make them and stuff, but look after yourself first and foremost.
Yeah, and I would say that to anyone. It's like if you feel it getting too much, just take a step back, because you think, I don't want to let people down. But no one really cares, you know what I mean? You got to care about yourself, No one really cares.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit if you disappear for 2 months or a year or whatever. It's, so don't worry about it. So I took a bit of a break.
Comics are never paying our mortgage, are they? Let's face it.
No,
we need to actually have a day job as well, don't we? That's the thing. Yeah.
And if I wanted to make money, I wouldn't do comics,
Exactly.
So I took a bit of a break, but overall it's been pretty steady, apart from a few blips, Scratch I think started in 2022.
That recent? I didn't realise.
Obviously I was doing Scar before that. I was doing other stuff, and I've been publishing since 1994.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Scary. Yeah. 32.
We were just talking about the old days of Bristol, weren't we? That's almost sort of Bristol UCAC crossover period. I would say.
Yeah. It was the last UCAC that sort of inspired me in a way.
Yeah.
There are lots of inspirations, but that last UCAC in Manchester, I remember talking to a lot of the people at the tables. I think I met Andy Watson for the first time there.
Okay.
And we just got chatting, and it just made me think, you guys are doing this, I can do this. And I leap forward to Scratch days. So I've been doing, to answer your question and not gabble too much, I've been doing stuff with lots of different people, but I do like to keep my hand in with like emerging new artists, people who are breaking in. Because like that's my origins, if you like. But what happened was when we started to have some success, obviously you get some attention, and you get people coming to you. I mean, for example, Peter came to me for Black Forests,
Nice.
and which was lovely. He said, "Oh, I've been thinking about doing this," and he's probably told you the story when you guys interviewed him. But he was originally going to do a little snippet in Dead by Dawn. And that Dead by Dawn 2 never happened because Scar ended and Scratch began. And so he'd written this story with Dave Hitchcock. And so it was like, I want to do this. And I've got some other ideas for horror stories as well. Do you want to do it? I've seen what you've done on, I've seen your other stuff. I like your sort of aesthetics, if you like. And I was like, yeah, I'd love, man, yeah, I'd love to work with you because, like, I really like Peter as a writer. He's fantastic, like Resident
Great
Alien.
editor as well. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, he is. Yes, very good editor. If anyone remembers Revolver.
Yeah.
And so I jumped at the chance, to work with someone like Peter, and Glenn Fabry, that was another one that I'd known Glenn for years, to be honest, through doing the shows. And that was the thing that made it all happen, really, because it was like a side effect, if you like, of doing conventions. So I've done all these conventions for all these years, had all these sort of big name guests, and got to know all these guys, from everywhere. And after a while, it's like, oh, do you want to do a comic? And they're like, yeah, all right. And it was an easy process in that respect. It was never really I've landed this guy, it was like, oh yeah, so-and-so wants to do a comic. Let's do a comic,
Yeah.
And I pay, which is a bit different to,
There's also a way of communicating with these people, isn't it? It's not just a case of, I've had some communication with this artist or this writer. Yeah. I can talk them into doing a comic. You still have to be quite professional and
I also love like you're right, Vince, be professional, but I also do love the old UK comics dynamic of talking about things when you're drunk in a pub.
Oh yeah.
That's got I do love that as well.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of doing a con, is that you talk to these guys at the bar. The one thing you don't talk about is comics. So you get to know these guys, and I think I might be wrong. I'm sure they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of the reason that I've forged these relationships with these guys is because I don't talk to them about comics all the time. We just like become friends and talk about other things.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice, and it's a little bit more relaxed, but at the same time, like you say, Vince, you have got to have, there are professional lines that you have to draw. Yeah. People need contracts, people need to be paid. And I think that might be a little bit different to what a lot of other small presses might do. That's more like, we'll get our mates to do a comic, we'll do it together, which is awesome. Don't get me, that's what I used to do as well, and that's how I started. And I've got a lot of respect for people who do that because they're doing it 100%. They're doing it for the love, And I'm not doing it for anything else, really.
Yeah.
And it's like that little bit in the middle where, I want to pay these guys, but my motivation isn't really money. It's more about getting a great comic out there. But to get these guys on board, you have got to offer them something, that they can. It's not always their top rate, maybe. It's like, I'm doing it for you, Shane, and I'm just doing it as a favour, but I still want to get a good rate, but I'm not going to charge you what I'd charge Dark Horse or Marvel, maybe, and that's how it sort of occurs, really. And obviously they get massive back end that they wouldn't get. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They get my massive back end. It's
the new BBC Big Booty Comics.
Yeah,
that's how it works now.
It's going to catch on, that is, mate.
Yeah. That sounds like a publisher. That does sound like a publisher. Big
Get on it, right?
Massive back end. Someone's going to steal that, man. That is good. That's good.
That's going to appear on the Slack any minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive back end.
Massive back end press. Yeah.
Well, should we talk about the upcoming convention? I only before we move into the current things. If it's all right, guys. The only reason is because I'm slightly embarrassed because I booked a table yesterday and then the email didn't appear within the first 30 seconds of me booking it. So, like an absolute twat, I emailed Shane saying, "Shane, I'm not sure what's going on, mate." I don't know what's happening.
Oh,
You
God.
went, all right.
So Shane, you had to deal with a diva immediately.
No,
That's what it is.
To be honest, by the
little
time
bit,
I went
a
to
little bit.
answer, he'd already sent his other email saying, "Ignore that last email."
I've got it. It's arrived.
So I'd already answered it.
Now, the reason being is, and this leads into a big pro for your upcoming Comics Assemble convention, August the 16th, Gloucester Leisure Centre. We'll talk about that in a minute. 15th. Oh, sorry, it's a Saturday, is it? I've written that down.
Yeah.
Cool. So what it is if you book a table, which is a one, it's £100, you also get 10 tickets for entry. Alongside it, and that's why I thought I'd booked the wrong thing. I thought I'd booked 10 entry tickets rather than a table, if that makes sense, because 10 tickets then arrive in your inbox, if it makes sense. So what was the thinking? I think that's a great idea, incidentally.
Yeah, man.
And a couple of our Slack members, Ian Matthew's going to be there, Damien's going to be there, have messaged me saying also they think it's great. But what was the thinking behind that, Shane?
Well, I was in one of my late night sort of trying to sleep moments, which I have every night, and when I'm lying there thinking, how am I going to solve all the problems in my life? And and the problem.
Comic convention.
Yeah, comic convention came up. Well, I'd retired from comic conventions. I know, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, and people listening. But I've retired. I was like, I've had enough. I had some really bad experiences with like stress and illness and stuff like that. So I thought I'm knocking it on the head while I'm still alive.
Yeah.
So my intention was to never do a comic convention again. And then I saw a lot of posts on Facebook for people just like whinging about comic conventions, basically, and all the problems that exhibitors were having about comic conventions, like, I'm going to spend maybe £600 on appearing at this event, and I might make £200 if I'm lucky, that sort of problem. Also, like, I'm applying for these comic conventions, I'm not getting in. I don't have any say in what's going on at these conventions. I just felt like exhibitors were like being used as the way to raise money, but they weren't getting anything back. Like they were getting a bad deal,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not every convention, by the way, and there are great conventions out there, but the bigger ones. And I'm not going to like slate anyone because they're doing a great job. They're promoting the industry. I go to these conventions and I have a love for them, but I do feel that exhibitors are always getting the arse end of it. Basically, being an exhibitor myself as well now as Scratch, I see it even more. So I was reading all these posts and I was thinking, this needs to be solved. There's a problem that needs to be solved. How can we do it so that, yes, exhibitors contribute financially, but also get something out of it at the same time? And I just racked my brain and I just come up with this formula, whereas the exhibitors, yes, they pay £100 for a table, but they also get 10 free tickets, which are worth £100. And then if they sell all of those tickets, they can apply for another 10 and actually make £100 before they've even set foot on the convention floor.
Oh,
and
nice.
I thought, well, if I was an exhibitor, that would make me feel a little bit better, because yes, I've still got to pay for a hotel. Yes, I've still got to pay for travel, maybe, but depending on where it is, But a lot of us, and I know you guys know this because you're down south, if you've got to go to the lakes or if you've got to go to Thought Bubble, it's a long journey. You've got to get a hotel.
Yeah.
And the hotels are not cheap in those places,
Not on the weekend of the convention, sadly.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And Harrogate's expensive, the lakes is expensive, and again, I'm not dissing those events. I love those events. I go to them, I exhibit at them, they do good work, but there are people who suffer from the location and all that sort of thing. And I just wanted to sort of try and counter that if I could. So the idea was set it a little bit more central in the country for a start, so it's not so far for everyone, but also that they could get something out of it. So there's a possible £200 there for you before you start. So that pays for your table, and £100 can go towards your hotel, or it can go towards your, whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting because, immediately you're making the promo for the individual creator an extra level of possible money making, sort of, by selling the tickets. Because every convention, all the big ones, every creator is probably posting on Instagram, this is where I'm going to be, this is the table, and that's essentially, that's not earning them anything, that's just trying to get, and people have come to these events because they're creators posting about this.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas this adds another level to it, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to be here, if you'd like a ticket, get in touch with me, I can get you
And you could also do as a competition if you're kind of that so inclined. I've got 5 tickets to give away for this
that's what
con.
John Wagner did, I think.
Like,
I think because John, bless his cotton socks. Sorry to interrupt you there, Dan.
Yeah. No worries.
John, bought a table. You know, this is a guy who's a legend who could have been a guest. Got in touch, said, I want to support this. Bought a table.
Oh, nice.
That's
and
brilliant.
gave away his tickets as prizes on his website.
We love
know?
John.
Yeah, he's such a lovely guy. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh, Johnny's a bit scary. He's a bit, a bit dour. But he's actually a teddy bear. He's a
big lump. I'll put it that way.
We've got a lovely photo of him with us.
The four of us, didn't we? We did it at Leamington, didn't we? He was so nice to us.
You're kind of offering a range of kind of like, not everything's. I look at like the MCM and the Thought Bubble and the Lakes as a bit kind of more top end. We're really kind of, you don't want everything like that. Everything's expensive and it's all like the big show. You want maybe kind of something else. You know what I mean? You've got a range,
I mean, I
so
got
this
no.
is what it's
I'm not competing with those big shows. You know what I mean? It would be daft to do that. There was a time when that was what I was doing, when I was doing Bix and we were the biggest show. And then later on with Ice, yes, we were small, but we had like 50 massive guests, We're not doing that. This is grassroots. Don't get me wrong, But we do have an international, we've got Jim Zub as an international guest. Yeah. We are going to be announcing some more.
You've got three more to announce at least.
Three more to announce. Yeah. And one of those is going to be announced very soon, and so it's
so where's how's Howard getting into the country?
Well, I've invited Howard over twice now, and both times he's been an amazing guest. I have to say.
I love him, man. I love him. We always meet him at Philadelphia, at Baltimore, and he is brilliant. I love him.
He's great, but I can't afford him on this show.
Right. Okay.
I'll let you into a story about Howard. Right. I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this. He came to Shrewsbury to my event, and. He just said, "Oh, I want first class travel or business class," and he laid it on the cost, But it was sponsored that one event he came to, so I had the money, and I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll pay that." And then later on, we went out for a meal after he got back, and he said, "Do you know, Shane?" He says, "When I said that, the intention was that you would say you couldn't afford it, and I wouldn't have to fucking come." No, but you said yes, you'd do it, you'd pay it, so I had to fucking come, didn't I? It's like brilliant.
Yeah, great.
That's what I love about Howard. He's just like, he does not pull punches, and there's no bullshit,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to hear who's going to be next then as well. That's good. Okay. But Jim Zub's a good catch. He's done a lot of Marvel work. Was it Skull Kickers? I think I met him when Skull Kickers first came out. Yeah. That was his book, wasn't it?
Yeah. And his Conan stuff. I mean, that's the attraction for me. Was the Conan, he's just such a great job of rejuvenating that character, I think.
The dude knows the fantasy genre, and obviously he's had a lot to do with like D&D and stuff as well, but like when he writes fantasy, he gets it. Some artists, some writers, some creators they're on that. That's the tone that they can write perfectly as well. The superhero stuff, sometimes you're like, yeah, that's all right, but when they hit that, when they've got that thing that they can play well. And Conan's a perfect. His Conan stuff's great.
How did you contact him? Did you know him from before?
I fancied inviting him. I didn't know him actually, and I think I was probably listening to this podcast because you guys had talked about him a lot, right. And I just thought, he'd be a good guest, because he's a little bit. He's not left field as such, but he's not an obvious choice,
Yeah.
I think that's really important because I think the thing is with established conventions, they do, God bless them, get caught in the loop of inviting the same people.
Yeah,
I think it is, and they obviously
that happens.
They know this, and those people don't get invited next year, but their mates do, and it tends to be the same little circle of people. So to have that outside sort of circle of it really is really good for us. Yeah, I think for the
I think it's important. I used to do it with Ice as well because people would say, "Oh, why can't I be invited this year?" And I'm like, "Well, you came last year." It's like, I've got to think about the people who are paying to get in. They want variety. Yes, I mean, I was as guilty as anyone else. I had my mates all came. I had all the people that I knew, or I'd worked with, or Charlie, Duncan, Sean. People I knew would always get invited, and they'd have a table, and it'd be great. But every
Duncan
time
doesn't get enough love. Can I just point out Duncan Figueredo does not get enough love. He's one of the best comic artists in this country. He should be lauded. Yeah, he's so good.
He's amazing. He's amazing. But you do have to have variety as well. So there were times when I would say to guys, "I'm not inviting you this year. You can come along. You can have a table, but I'm not going to invite you as a guest." And some people would be cool about it. some people would be like, Shane, you're an asshole.
But I think that's like,
okay.
A convention is almost no different to a music festival, and we've all seen the music festivals.
Imagine if they have the same acts every year.
You'd be like, I'm not going to bother going this year because
exactly.
they'll be back next year. Well, then that particular event is losing out on money that you'd have this year, so they may not be able to go on next year to get these people.
And again, without naming any conventions, it does get a bit cliquey. I've done a couple of conventions where they've been in the pub all night and they're not making it to their table to 2 p.m. the following day, and then they're heading off and you never see them. And there's a bit of that sometimes.
The empty table at a convention is always
does mind
that's a teeth grinder.
If you're a con organizer and you've paid for someone to come over and be on that table and they're not there, that's.
But I talked about this previously when I've done Heroes in Baltimore. Is Pat Broderick's always at his table, Mike Grell's always at his table, Wheezy Simonson is always at a table, Howard Chaykin's always at a table. These people are in their 70s and 80s. They manage to be at their tables.
I think sometimes like it's because certain creators know that this is still work. It is still a job that if you're being paid to. This is not a holiday or it's not an all expenses paid holiday. It is somewhere where you're interacting with people, so therefore it's going to get you more. It's going to keep the job going.
Well, all of those people that you mentioned, then Tony, they are all professionals.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are a lot of people, and I always get myself into trouble here, but there are a lot of people who their work is of a professional standard, but they do not behave like professionals.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot. It's a part of the industry because everybody loves what they do. So if you love what you do, it's like, oh, is it really a job? You're like, yeah, it is, man. If you're making a living out of it, you need to treat it like a job, and you need to be professional about it. And they're the people I love to work with at shows and in the books. The people who behave professionally because they're really easy to work with, funnily enough.
So and same like these big names. Sorry, Tony. Like these big names that are coming up now. Like for instance, you take a Daniel Warren Johnson. Do you know what I mean? Like
he's a gent, isn't he?
The absolute. He's at the pinnacle. Like right now, isn't he? The new line, but. At a convention, he'll still be at his table. He'll be signing for everyone. He'll give everyone moments. He's always there. And he's putting in the graft, and that's why that person deserves to be at the top.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's one of my. That's a dream invite for me at the moment.
Daniel
Warren Johnson, because he's doing great stuff, and I'd love to get him. He's really hard to get hold of though.
Right.
But, that he's not.
We had him on the show. I'm going to say 8 years ago, something like that. But he always replies. Are the other 3 guests nailed down yet?
One of them is. 2 of them are. I'm talking. We've got
you're talking. I get you.
If I'd nailed them down, I might have.
Can I just say that we're about to, in about 11 months, going to hit the 50th anniversary of 2000 AD? Is that playing into your mind at all?
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Fine.
Tony's poaching for exclusives once again.
He almost got me then.
Yeah. It's playing. We'll talk afterwards. It's playing. Certainly playing on my mind a bit.
Yeah. It's a big one. The thing is, those guys have got to do something, haven't they, themselves?
They haven't announced it yet, mate.
No, but if they don't, that's a crime.
Pull the finger out.
Yeah. They need to do something like they did
and
on
not
the 40th.
an online one. Yeah, absolutely.
The 40th one was amazing.
That hotel is booked by someone else on that weekend. So it won't be at that hotel, which is a bit of a shame because it was nice. It was a nice venue that I thought.
They've got to pull their finger out, right? Because that event takes fucking time.
You've
got to coordinate everyone being there. And
you've got to coordinate with all those guys at 2000 AD. I mean, those guys, it's like herding cats. You know what I mean?
And they're all over the world now.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and they're getting on, most of them as well. It's so come on, sort it out, Rebellion.
Yeah. So with Comics Assemble then, like you say, you took a break especially from like events and stuff. What has it been like, because you saw the window of opportunity of I could do it like this, but what has it been like for you to step back into that arena of like an event?
It's a weird feeling actually, and like all of those old feelings are coming back as well. The little bits of stress and worry and. So I know that it's going to take its toll on me. There's no getting out of it. But the formula that I've created, I think, makes it easier. It's less financially risky, and it's less work. There's less guests. I'm building it around the exhibitors. So we've got 100 exhibitors. Many of those are professionals. Some of them are, many of them are from 2000 AD. And there's a lot of like small press guys, indie guys. So you've got like everything from the little tiny small press right up to like legends like, John Wagner, and I think Paul as well, Paul Cornell, he's exhibiting, and it's really nice that professionals exhibit. I really appreciate that. So you've got that range in the exhibitors, and then we've just got 4 big name marquee guests. So it's a lot different. Like Ice, I would have 50 paid guests.
Wow.
That cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
They were all paid for, hotels, travel, the works, that's a lot of money. And that caused a lot of stress, a lot of worry. Whereas now I'm sort of like, okay, I've got a budget. I've set a budget based on what I know I can accumulate. We've also got a sponsor that I can't say anything about just yet because it's not on dotted paper. But
And Summers.
That's a good one.
Don't know, silly. It's Love Honey. Love Honey it is. That's it.
What's that one that what's the one that we tried to get? The ball shaver. Do you remember the one that kept contacting us about shaving the balls? Yeah.
Just to be clear, we didn't try to get that. Otherwise,
you guys should have gone for that.
They messaged us. Do you remember I sent them a message saying, "Is it quite tough?" And they messaged back saying, "Yes, it works quite well." And I said, "Because I'm like a Wookiee when I take my trousers down." And then they never replied again.
Well, that's a golden customer, surely.
Yeah,
I'm
surely.
going to go through ball shavers, like Why did that was perfect?
A slam dunk,
would
right?
have been ideal.
Yeah,
Brand partnership made in heaven.
Yeah, or hell.
Yeah. Mostly hell. Yeah. Good. So you got a sponsor. That's good, man. No, that's it.
Yeah.
Are you?
So
Because I know you've got a sort of regular team with your comic little firm. You got you and Andy, and you've got Rob as well. Are they? Is it? Have you got people helping you? That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I've got to recruit some of the old. But it's like getting the old gang together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a little bit like some old team. They're all coming together, and some of them aren't back. There's new people I've got to bring in. Some people are like, I don't know, I might have a bad back that weekend,
Right.
But
we're all getting on, man. That's the thing. Everyone's old now.
It's like getting the Goonies back together now, isn't it? That's what it is.
It is, man. Yeah. It is.
Like
But
the Rolling Stones, full of gear.
It'll be a tight, small team, But I am going to be doing an appeal. So if anyone listening is from Gloucester and is a comics fan and would like free entry to the show and to be a volunteer and doesn't mind being worked like a dog, then give me a call.
You're on the Slack, Shane. Put it on the Slack, mate. I know there's a few people around that way.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I will. Yeah, because I do need some more volunteers because that's the other thing. I'm going to take a lot of the stress off myself because I did a lot of the leg work myself.
Yeah, man.
At Ice, and I am too old to do it now. I'm physically unable to do all that stuff, like lug tables around and shit like that. So I do need more help. So I will be appealing for local comics people to come and, give us a hand. Because the other thing about this show is I don't really care about selling like loads and loads of tickets and making loads and loads of money. It doesn't really matter. It's about getting people through the door, which is the mythos behind, giving away the tickets to the exhibitors. They can make the money out of the tickets, and I'll sell tickets. There are tickets for sale. But I'd rather you went to an exhibitor and bought tickets from them, because that helps them. And the idea is as well, those people come in are people who are interested in what the exhibitors are selling. By way of how they've acquired their tickets. So the idea is, I could be wrong, this is a new idea and I could fall flat on my face, but the idea is that the people there are going to be interested in what you're doing, and there's going to be a good amount of people there because of the way that I'm selling the tickets. And I think once exhibitors started to clicked in their head how it works, it's like, that'll work. And so more and more people are sort of trying to understand it, and they are getting to understand it now, how it works and how it can work. And I hope I'm right. I could be wrong.
The thing I always trust about with you, mate. The thing I always trust about you is it's not going to be full of trying to think who, Danny John Jules, or it's not going to have somebody from The Chase on it or something like that. We're not going to have that BS.
No,
it's going to be about comics. Yeah,
there's none of that, man. Yeah,
Geezer from the third AT-AT on the right from Empire. Strikes Back, stuff like that.
Yeah, the guy who tickled Chewbacca's balls when he needed to go.
Primeval.
Or Nick Cotton. Oh, I'm evil, man. Don't mention that. They'll come. We'll get an email.
Yeah, they'll be there. I get emails from those guys, by the way. I do get emails or from their agents,
Well, now with this thing where you get when you post a podcast, you get a transcript attached to it. We've started getting some very fucking weird emails. I was just moaning about it a minute ago to Vince and Dan. Yeah, we because AI will pick bits out of it and not understand what it's picking out.
Out of context.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder what the cons did with those Walking Dead doors that they had everywhere. Do you remember them?
Or those plastic thrones. Are they still going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if I see that fucking throne one more time.
Was it Don't Dead open inside those fucking doors?
Yeah.
Zombie.
We did Tribute did a convention once which had Nick Cotton from EastEnders in it, who was, because I don't know if you know this, he's like a non-speaking part, and is it Return the Jedi or something like that?
Really?
It's one of them. Yeah.
Was he an Ewok or something?
I think he was like a pilot that doesn't speak or something like that.
Really?
And Andy is the loveliest guy in the world. He was running it, and he had an argument with him because he ran out of like paper plates, and Nick Cotton was shouting at him because he'd never put a sandwich in a cup before. I thought, fucking hell, man, that's my weekend. Yeah.
Right, sort out.
Brilliant. Yeah, I don't want to deal with those people, man.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff, man. So, anything else you can tell us about that one before we move on to your comics?
No, I think that's about it, really. That I can reveal. Anyway, all I can say is it's going to be a great day. It's 15th of August. It's at the G1 Centre in Gloucester. And, the 100 exhibitors, come and meet them.
So if people want to get tickets, where's the place they can go if they want to?
Sorry, that's an obvious one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank God for you, Vince.
That's why I'm here. That and to look pretty.
So it's www. Actually, there's no www. It's just httc. The other bit. So it's basically just comicsassemble.net. That's it.
Okay, brilliant.
Nice to remember. And you can book your tickets, you can book your tables, you can find out. And the other thing I should mention about it is we are starting. There is like a little community of exhibitors as well. When you buy a table, you don't just get a table. You get your tickets. You get voting rights as well. So we do little votes. You'll find this, Tony, once you're logged in. We put up things like, what should we do about this thing? And then everyone votes on it. The idea is that all the exhibitors actually have a say in how the event happens and how it's run.
Okay.
Really important aspects of, like there's one on there at the moment. I just put it on there to start things off. It's like, how do we do cosplay? Do we ban them? Do we pay for them? Or do we just invite them and be nice to them? Or,
don't pay for cosplayers. It's a hobby. Invite them, I'd say. Yeah,
that's my vote. My vote is they're welcome to come. Great, but we're not going to give you special treatment. That's my vote, but it is up to the exhibitors. It's not up to me.
Yeah, I'll put one in there tomorrow that just says strippers, question.
I'm going to regret letting you in, aren't I?
Don't worry, he will have had all his jabs before he gets there.
Yeah,
don't worry. We'll make sure he's
he's got a muzzle on.
We'll get him done.
We may have something launching at that, by the way. We just talked about it.
That's cool. That's the other thing that we offer. That it's not, I think other shows do it as well, but we're going to be doing it a lot. Is we're going to be promoting the exhibitors all year round. So if you've got a book that you're launching, if you've got a Kickstarter, or you just want general promotion, we'll share it on our socials. We'll share it in the community on the website. And obviously you've got a listing on the website as well. So it's really more than just a convention in that respect. We want to take those 100 exhibitors and make them into a little group, a little family that we can promote and like really go for it,
Can I also say here, Shane, that's brilliant and that's ideal, and all the best conventions do that. Nottingham used to do it; they were great with it. Is promoting people who are guesting on tabling and stuff like that. Can I also ask if you are tabling at it or you are a guest at it, you also promote the event? I don't think we see enough of that.
Yeah.
We get like the weekend before, a guest might say, oh, by the way, I'm at Austin, Texas tomorrow at a table. No, give it a bit of, give it a bit of heat, promote it, because you are trying to help these people sell their comics.
Yeah.
And, I think we need a bit more of that.
Because I think there's a lot of people who complain about things when they've done absolutely no work to try and get anyone through the door.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But I will say, as well as to any like small press or independent creators out there, perhaps you haven't tabled at an event before, and it is quite a nerve-wracking thing. Just give this a go. It's almost like this is the perfect.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, other conventions don't have all this sort of like voting, all this other stuff. This sounds fantastic for a creator to feel like part of there, because sometimes it can feel like, especially if it's your first con, like you're the only person in the room and you don't know anyone. We've all had our first convention where we knew no one.
Yeah. Well, I think back to when I started going to conventions. My first tabling was at Mike's convention in Bristol, right?
Yeah.
And Mike was lovely. No, it wasn't Mike. It was Kev, wasn't it? Kev F. Sutherland used to do it.
Oh, okay.
And I went to that one, and he made me feel so welcome.
I tabled at that as
brilliant.
well.
Yeah,
I think that's maybe where we first met, when you were running the small. Is it Small Zone? Yeah.
Small Zone. Yeah.
That was good.
It was good days, man, in that watershed. And
it was.
And it was only a couple of years in the watershed. Then it moved to the train shed, the other shed,
the
big shed.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Did you ever go to was it the Cube Cinema? I remember going to some cinema show in there.
I did a book launch there, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
My first ever graphic novel that I published in 2006.
Right.
We did it was Falling Sky by Ben Dixon, and we did the artwork was projected onto a screen.
Oh, wow.
And a very nice lady whose name I don't remember played songs based on the book. And it was a live performance in the Cube. It was mad.
I knew you were a bit prog.
Yeah, it was a bit prog. It was a bit prog. I'm not into prog. I hasten to add, but it was a bit prog. But it was a really good immersive experience, and it was nice. And we sold some books, so I was happy. I'd gone all the way to Bristol, Ben put me up, bless him, And it's weird. It's gone full circle now, because Ben's at Comics Assemble. He's an exhibitor, so that's nice.
Nice. Oh, that is great. Excellent.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. And talk
about some of the many comics you've got.
Yeah, I was about to say, things coming back around. Obviously, you've continually been sort of publishing comic, in the comic scene as well as events. And it feels like Scratch Comics are always on our radar, always churning out some awesome stuff. And we've had people that have published comics for you be on our show, and I know you've been on here and stuff. I think the first question is, how's it going?
Yeah,
it's going all right. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. We're producing some good stuff. That I was really happy with. I mean, we tried to set it. The whole thing with Scratch was I wanted it to be good, high quality. I wanted it to stand out as high quality books, not just in the standard of the work, but also the printing. So they're getting a nice product. And I thought, how are we going to stand out, because there's lots of great indie stuff out there, really good indie stuff, and it inspires me, this stuff, keeps me going when I read other people's stuff. So how can we stand out from that, because it's all so good? So for me, it was about quality, that's good. I hope it sets us apart a little bit. So and Black Forest has done so well. Despite
so he had a couple of FP signings and everything, didn't he?
Yeah, we had FP signings, we had Mart signings, Travelling Man has done signings.
Oh, cool.
They did two. They did one with Glenn and one with Peter. Gosh did a signing with 3 people. That was really nice.
That's great.
Yeah, cool. I missed that. Yeah.
Such a fantastic book, I've got to say.
Thank you.
One of my favourites.
Oh, cheers. I mean, all I did was put the pieces together. You know what I mean?
That's no small thing, though, on an anthology, man.
No.
I haven't. We've run a few, and I've fortunately not been the editor, but I've watched the editors go. Fuck's sake, quite a lot, Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's fun. It is. It can be hard work, but at the same time, it's really rewarding. And putting it all together is such fun, especially when you're working with the standard of artists that I was lucky enough to get hold of.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, is top notch. So it was a pleasure. And.
How did you handle it with Peter? Because obviously, normal anthology, you've got to write an artist team, but then you've got this one. He had the writer dealing with all the artists. Yeah, and I imagine that was quite challenging.
Yeah, it is a challenge. I mean, I won't go into too many details, but because I'll get into trouble. But the relationships are different between each person.
Yes, yeah.
Some are very sort of like, oh, it's a job. They'll take on the job. They'll do the work. They're very professional. Blah blah blah. Some people you have to wrangle with them a bit. To get either to get the work out of them, to get a contract out, because I give everyone a contract, and it's sometimes it can be tricky, because you've got all those different personalities, lots of different egos, some with no ego, some with big ego, and Peter luckily hasn't got an ego at all. He's just the most lovely guy, most generous creator as a writer, incredibly generous, and just very easy to work with, I think that was the key. The fact that Peter was so good,
Right.
and it helped us sort of navigate any choppy waters with artists. You know, I'm not. They're all great. Don't get me wrong, but they're all different. You know, they've all got their
quirks and foibles.
Yeah, and I love them all. You know. So
would you say professionalism is kind of like a LinkedIn word for easy to work with?
Yes.
Do you think that translates? Because
Could be,
if someone's professional, it's just like this is easy to work with, and you don't have to fuck around and chase them. And where's your pages? Blah 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 blah.
That's putting it in a nutshell. It really is because it's the old adage, isn't it? I think it was Dave Gibbons I first heard it from. You know, to succeed in comics, you have to be one of three things. You know, you have to be really easy to work with, really good, or really fast.
Quick. Yeah.
And if you can be two of those things, you will succeed. You know, and I think I think some have more weight than others. I think the easy to work with probably carries more weight than the other two combined.
Right.
To be honest, if you can tell a story. That, you know, if you're good and you can tell a story, you don't have to be the best artist in the world.
Yeah.
But if you're easy to work with and you deliver on time, that's magic. That is every editor's dream, you know?
We've seen that like with professional comic artists where their art's like, yeah, it's okay, but then they're very consistent and very professional. Yeah. And on the other scale, you see people who are absolutely amazing and then they just disappear off because they're such a pain in the bum to fucking work with.
Sometimes from panel to panel, things don't necessarily add up. Do they?
Well, you get 6 months between issues or something. That's another one, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, and you're right. You're both right on both of those things, you know. And like the storytelling is so important, you know. And I've worked with artists who are amazing, and I think, why is this person not a superstar? They're just so good. Yeah. And then I work with them. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know.
I see what the problem is now.
Yeah.
It's not their work. Yes.
Sorry about that. We've never worked together, incidentally. I'd like to point out.
You know, and then you know, that's unfortunate. You know, but and I bet every artist I've worked with is now going, "Is he talking about me?"
Talking about me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not. All right, if you're listening, I'm not.
No, they won't believe it.
Well, you know, you must be proud of all the comics that Scratchers have put out because it's such a murderer's row of like, you know, if you just look at the comics page on the website, you know, it looks like a hit every single one. Like obviously with the Stoker verse.
Yeah, that's been good. I mean, the Dracula, like Chris Geary is great. Like
love Chris.
He's one of those good guys, you know. Really great.
He's very hard working. He's always sticking work out, isn't he? Yeah.
Incredible. Matt Sof, colorist, like
great, and now a writer as well. I see. So I do like Matt. Matt coloured something for a charity comic I did once, and I didn't realise. And then I got in contact, and he did me a Scanners commission, which was absolutely brilliant. But
that's awesome.
He's that strange combination of writer and colorist on Spearpoint, is that right?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's the writer. It's his thing. It's his creation, and it's like, well, who else is going to color it? You know what I mean? It makes sense.
I will say this if Matt's listening. I loved Spearpoint.
It's great. Looks so slick as well, man.
It reminded me. It was almost like felt like a Commando comic. But like now with an extra sort of like
a little bit of satanistic twist,
but in all the right ways. Because like sometimes when you say Commando comic, people have a certain. I just meant it gets that wartime sort of adventure.
Yeah, it's like a Saturday afternoon movie on BBC Two for me in a way, but with added horror.
Then it takes a turn. Yeah, it's great.
You guys have nailed it there. It's exactly what I wanted from it. And you know, like say I wanted it's Matt's vision, but I think we were so on the same page. Yeah. You know, when he said I read the script and I had an instant vision in my head of what I wanted to look like. Initially, we approached Ali Fell for that.
I can see that, you know.
Yeah, but he was busy, as you would expect, because it's Ali. So I thought, who can we get who's got that aesthetic, you know? And I scoured the internet because I didn't know Benito, and I just scoured the internet. And I saw his Tarzan stuff, and then I saw his Western stuff, and I thought, oh man! And initially, I was going to ask him to do Dinosaurs versus Cowboys, because he can do both of those things really well. And then when Spearpoint came along, it's like, oh no, he's going to be perfect for that. You know, his style, his aesthetics, combine that with Matt's colouring. I don't think Benito, no disrespect at all to any other colourist that's worked with Benito, but I don't think he's ever looked so good. You know, with Matt's colours, it just looks I mean, I don't know if you guys agree when you've seen it. It just works so well.
Yeah, it doesn't make that mistake of being too dark simply because it's a horror comic, which I really admire.
It's still a comic. Do you know what I mean? Rather than trying to be an aesthetic, which I think some horror comics fall into the trap of being. It's like, this is still a comic story.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly, and it's still it's pulpy, it's adventure, but it's action, but it's got that sort of, it's a little bit old fashioned, but it's got that modern twist as well, and I think it straddles both worlds. The fact that it's set in World War II sort of gives it a certain aesthetic, and it puts it in a certain time frame, and it also then makes the witchcraft element of it a little bit more odd. You know, it's like it's a weird combination that doesn't often get.
There's a counterpoint in there to expectations.
And there was there's absolutely no spoilers on the story. Read it for yourself when you can. But the way it ended, I was like, "What? What's that all about?" Then, do you know what I mean? There's more. There's more in the best kind of cliffhanger, because you're like, "Okay, what does this mean?"
Yeah. I love the ending to issue 1. It's Matt's tried to write a sort of a cliffhanger at the end of each issue. It's 4 issues.
It's what we need, man, in comic.
We do.
Sometimes when I read, especially small press and independent comics, there is a fear in the back of my mind as I'm reading it. Is this comic just going to stop? Because so many of them just kind of stop, don't they? Like, this issue's done now. What do you mean this is
But there's also my fear, if there's a cliffhanger, we will never see another issue. Sometimes that's my other fear.
It's hard. It's like Netflix series, isn't it? It's like, we're not going to do a Netflix. It's going to happen. I mean, this is the thing. Like, sometimes it can take a little, because it's small press and it's Kickstarter. Sometimes it takes longer than you want it to take.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, you know what? I'm going to give up.
I think narratively you have to remember that a little bit as well. Yeah. So without that monthly schedule, if you're going to have a cliffhanger, you almost need a little reminder sometimes. Going back.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't I mention that a couple of weeks ago? I got like a comic through that I hadn't read. I remember what it was, but I hadn't read an issue of it. They hadn't put an issue out in years, and I got it through, and I was like, I can't remember what fucking happened before. And it took.
My memory is terrible, man. But I know what you mean.
It's a really good idea, actually. That maybe what I should do is send a digital version to everyone who got got the book. Say, this is what happened before. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I think it's important if it's been more than a few months, and it usually is. Let's face it. But rather than give up, I would rather just plug away and get it out. It might take a bit longer, but I'm not going to let those people. We're going to put that next issue out.
Mate, it's that work ethic that'll see you through. Like, you know what I mean? That's
got to do it.
Trust you.
Yeah,
and do it, man.
Very importantly, a previously on for any creators out there, a previously on is not just the synopsis of what the book is. A previously on is a bit of that and get them caught up. Because
set them up for when they turn the page to the story start. We're
indie comics. We don't have the luxury of having a big brand superhero name to get us through the first 10 pages. No. Do you know what I mean? You know.
And that's the hard part. I mean, that's the challenge, isn't it? Being an indie creator, you're starting from scratch, and that's where the name of the whole thing came from.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Every time you start, you're starting from scratch because you haven't got a history to rely on. You haven't got a franchise to rely on. I mean, okay, Dracula. I did all right with that.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's something brand new, and you've got to start from scratch, and you've got to say, come on board with this on this story. And yes, it's going to look great. There's great art, but what's going to hook that person? So for me, it's always like finding that hook that attracts that audience. Because I don't believe in writing for an audience. I'm not a believer in that. I never think you should create for an audience. I should create what you love, and then find the audience for it.
Yeah.
And I think if you create for an audience, it's not going to work because you're second guessing yourself.
You're going to be 12 months behind.
That's a problem with that some creators have, isn't it? If they create something for themselves. And it finds an audience, then they feel they have to write for the people that who are now following them, whereas they never.
It's a snake eating itself sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
Never make that mistake, man. You see it all the time, don't you, in Hollywood?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do at the moment. Can we just quickly move on? I know we've only got you for an hour, but the Dinosaurs versus Cowboys, created by you and Chris McCauley as well. We've had Chris on. Yeah. Thanks for that. Now, the thing I like about this, you got John McCrae in this as well.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I'm hoping to get him in the next issue as well. Just another short,
Yeah,
because we can't get
kind
him
of like
a
a backup, isn't it? Yeah,
issue.
Yeah.
So Owen Coveney did the first issue. I'm talking to another artist right now, actually, for issue 2. The script is done. I love the script. Like I co-wrote it, so it sounds a bit conceited.
No, that's right.
Well, you got to be pleased. It's great to be excited and pleased about your own work.
Yeah, excited. Yeah. With Chris McCauley again. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Chris.
Cool.
I'll be totally honest. Chris did 90% of the work on issue 1. I just came up with some ideas.
Did you go full Stan Lee and just ring him?
Yeah. Chris, do this.
Yeah, there's a man on a surfboard. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
I was totally the Stan Lee in that relationship. Yeah. Chris was I don't know, what would you call it? Because he wasn't Kirby, but But I was a collaborator. But this second issue, I'm more active on the writing side of things, and I hope to become more and more involved in that as it progresses. I'm getting more and more ideas, and Chris is again another really generous creative in the respect that he allows you to just like say, Chris, I want to do this, and he go, yeah, let's do it that way. Then he's got no ego, and he's just so easy to work with, and that's a real blessing.
Cool.
So yeah, John McCrae, what can I say? Did a beautiful cover, did that great. It was so brilliant how he did it. Like, he translated that script so well. I could never have imagined. I mean, I sort of did imagine, because I know John's work. You sort of know you're going to get something special, but he just exceeds. We haven't
seen much from John for a while, have we? I'm just seeing him. I'm trying to think where I last saw him.
He's doing a lot of stuff. It
right.
tends to be Image. I know he's done some stuff for DC as well. I'm trying to think of his last sort of big.
Was it
Mythos or something?
Dead Rabbits? Was that the one? The one that had
of course it was.
Yeah, there was a little bit of thing with the name, wasn't there?
Was that with Duggan? Wasn't it? Is that right?
Was that with? Yeah, I think
Jerry
it was.
Duggan,
I think it was.
I can't remember. Yeah, but okay. That was a Kickstart, wasn't it? Yeah.
Initially, but I think Image picked it up.
That's right.
Yeah,
you're right, man. Yeah,
but he's done a lot of stuff, and it's good. I mean, I would say actually, John's doing some of his best work at the moment. He's found a groove,
Oh, that's nice, man.
And I'm really loving. I mean, he's posting a lot of commissions online and stuff like that. I would say if you don't follow John online, follow him, because the stuff he's posting is just brilliant stuff. And he's doing covers for 2000 AD. He's doing some interiors, I think, for 2000 AD now as well. So he's working, and that's why we can't get him for a whole issue, because he's always too busy.
Good. So I always remember a colleague bought a page of his from him online, and I was at, I think it was MCM, and I volunteered to pick it up for him, this colleague, and so I was really careful with it. Put it, it was in a roll, brought it into work in a tube, all that sort of thing, and then I photocopied it on A3 on the photocopier, and then I sellotaped it to the locker behind where I sat. Right, and the bloke came down from the other office to collect it, and I went, "Oh, hello, John, I'll get it off the wall for you," and then I ripped it in half like that, trying to get it off.
Love it.
Oh, did your stomach just sink in that moment?
And he went, and then he realised, oh, you're being a wanker. That's a photocopy, and it was fine.
Oh, that is so cruel. That is so cruel. Oh, right. I bet he. Oh God, I can't imagine how he must have felt in that moment.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Hedrek, because this is a big one, isn't it? Written by Lawrence Allison. I'm going to say main art by our sort of favourite David Hitchcock, but it's also got Damien Edmondson in it as well, which I didn't realise he was doing that. He's a big friend of ours, Damien. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Well, me and Damien go.
That one? Oh, do you? I didn't realise that.
We go way back. Yeah, we went to college. We went to art college together.
No way.
Yeah,
really?
yeah. And Helena as well. Helena was in the same college. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they met. And so we're old friends. Me and
was
Damien.
that Wigan?
Wigan. He was at. He's from Wigan.
Yeah.
We went to Wrexham College.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Art college.
So much better. So much more posh.
Well, it is now. They got Ryan Reynolds.
I keep seeing that. Yeah.
So
we're not going up this year.
No.
Tell us about that one then. What's that one about?
So it's basically the pitch is Wicker Man meets Columbo. So it's detective folk horror in southwest England, and it's spooky, it's weird, it's eccentric, but it's basically a police procedural, but with this sort of mummer history. The mummers, if people don't know, are the guys and gals who dress up in traditional costumes and sometimes play pranks, but usually they just walk around at festivals looking funny and scary.
Okay.
But these guys are dressing up and they're committing crimes, and it uncovers a massive conspiracy, basically. And it starts with like it's a bit of a joke. So Hedrek gets handed this case, and it's a bit of a joke, and then they realise no, this isn't a joke. This is serious shit going down. And there ends up being a mummer riot. They're breaking people out of prison. They're shooting people, and it's all out of control. But there's a conspiracy underneath it all, and Hedrek uncovers this conspiracy, and more he gets drawn into it, and really horrible stuff happens to him as well. I mean, I don't know if you've read it, but there's a thing in there that has never happened in a comic before, and I don't think has happened since. I could be wrong, and you probably know, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. So it's quite groundbreaking in that respect.
And black and white as well, keeping it black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got Damien Edmondson in there, because it's the hardback that's most people are getting now, or the collected edition, because the series finished, you know. So we had a 3-issue series with a special, and it all links together. And the special has got the guest artists. So we've got Damien, we've got who else? We've got Adam Jakes,
yeah.
Steve Austin, and Paul what's his name? McCaffrey, yes. So a real nice collection of artists there, all different, all doing their own thing, but chosen to suit the story that they, the short story that they told. And there's some beautiful covers in there as well. Jimmy Broxton, Shane Oakley, Shane. Oh man, his cover was just beautiful. Check it out. It's
I'll have a look, man. Yeah, so good.
So yeah, that Hedrek's, it's got its own little fan base, and recently that fan base expanded a little bit because we were lucky enough, because the character's look was inspired by Rhys Shearsmith, who we're all fans of.
Yeah.
And he got a hold of the hardback and took a photo with it, and we posted it on the Rhys Shearsmith fan sites, just saying, oh, we're really pleased that he likes the book that was, inspired by his likeness. And it just went a bit mad, and people started buying it again. So it's like,
nice.
Yeah. And it's really nice that he likes it. It's like, it's lovely. Because he could have said, "You use my likeness, you assholes." How dare you?
Yeah.
He was cool about it, man. He was really cool about it.
I get that, because he has that certain aesthetic about him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's not. He's he can carry a film, but he's not like Hollywood looking.
No, he was perfect for Hedrek, because Hedrek is your unconventional hero. He's a good guy, but he's an ordinary guy.
Yeah.
He's very courageous, but he's not super strong. He's not super quick. He's very intelligent, but he's got a moral center, and he's sort of like, in a way, he's a little bit like Superman in the respect that he's good in the face of evil.
Yeah. Are you getting your vocal exercises ready for when you're in the series, the TV series?
Just get my little cameo in there.
Yeah. I'll have a pint, please. Yes, I know.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do a West Country accent. That's the only thing. It's set down there, And I remember we went to a Bristol show, and we took issues of Hedrek, and I was really unexpected, but people picked up on the West Country thing, and it sold. We sold loads of copies, like, to all these people who just, it's set round here. That's cool. Or it's set round here.
Round here. Yeah, I know about that, my lover.
Yeah, I got
Vince can do the book for you if you need a talking book.
I'll be able to do all the voices and all that, my love.
Sorted.
Yeah.
And I guess the last one you sent us through, which isn't specifically a comic but is an illustrated novel with art by Clint Langley, written by Chris McCauley, is Shadows of the Stokerverse. Some lovely art in that, man. Really
nice. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, thanks to Clint.
Yeah.
He got. It was weird how that evolved, because Chris was writing these he's always writing, he's like never stops, and he was writing all these stories within the Stokerverse, which is basically the universe that Dracula lives in, but it's not just Dracula's timeline, it's before and after as well. So you've got this massive timeline within this Stokerverse, and he's also encompassed other sort of creations that Bram Stoker didn't create, but it's the idea is like, what if Bram Stoker had created these characters? How would they have evolved? A little bit like what if Stanley had done Superman approach, I guess.
Okay.
So Frankenstein monsters in there, werewolf is in there. There's all sorts going on. So he had all these stories, and then and Clint read some of them, and he was like inspired by them, and he just started producing these images, because Chris and Clint had like formed a bond, And he just started producing all these like really cool images. Like a lot of it was like just sketches, but then he'd like do finished paintings. And I've been told, I could be wrong, but I've been told that Clinton actually did a painting on his wall at home, a massive painting inspired by one of the stories.
All right,
crazy.
wow.
That's great.
So he's really into it, and he produced this book, and there's more illustrations than we could possibly. Originally it was going to be 100 pages. Now it ended up being 140 pages because he just kept producing these illustrations. And he's like, I want that one in there, you've got to put that one in there. And I was like, okay, you're the artist.
And it goes.
It's very much like almost like an art book with stories. A lot of people say illustrated, but the art is so dominant in there. And because and then what happened was he would just draw shit because he was like on a roll, and Chris would just go, I can write a story around that. That's inspired, that's inspired me to write a story, because it was such a provocative image that Clint would create. Chris would just go, I've got to write, and he would write a story about it, and I get the story through, like, oh, bloody hell. That's good. And we've got to include that. And it just, this whole timeline, hundreds of years of just stories. They're isolated stories, but they're all in the same universe. Just sprang up, And the book just created itself almost. But it's beautiful. I'm very proud of it.
Turned out great.
Cheers.
Yeah. Bloody hell! What a library. And that's not including Claudia Christensen's Dark Legacies.
Yeah, I mean that's still going as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Glenn. I'll say that Glenn is not the fastest artist in the world. I think we all know that. So issue 3 is in progress. But that's done really well as well. Issue 1, we had Stas Johnson. He had to, for family reasons, he had to quit, and so we brought Glenn in. And it's the first. It's a long time since Glenn's done full on interiors.
Okay.
So issue 2 is all Glenn. We'll finish the series with Glenn.
I read her autobiography recently. That was an eye opener.
Yeah, I bet.
Right.
Yeah, Claudia's had quite a life.
Yeah, man, she is. Also, a little bit of a tidbit. Her best friend is Bob Fingerman's wife. There you go. There's a clue for you. Yeah.
Wow. Comics is such a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I found out she's got friends near where I live as well, which is weird. In Shropshire.
Okay.
Yeah. She goes, I've got friends in Shropshire. I was like, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. Right, guess number 2's nailed down. Excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were really chuffed with how well that did, like as sales as well. But I mean,
right.
Obviously, it helped Claudia being involved. But the
she
important
pimped it quite a bit, didn't she? I think.
Yeah, she did. She really because it's hers. It's her creation. And what a lot of people will not realise is this is not just a celebrity putting their name on something. She's a good writer. She's so inventive. She was involved in everything that went on in that book. She did not just put a name onto it. She was really heavily involved. She was scrutinising everything that me and Chris were doing, and she would look at the art and she'd have comments, and from start to finish, that is her thing. So it's not just a name on it, and because you see a lot of that, and I was really determined to make sure that this was not a case of just a celeb putting their name on something.
Not so much these days, but certainly in the 90s and early 2000s, we got murdered with that stuff.
So much of it. And she didn't want that. She wanted it to be her thing. It's her creation. So I'm quite proud that we were able to make that happen, and it did do well. It sold really well. I will say the diamond thing that happened really messed us about.
Right. Interesting.
We had a lot of problems with that. Because we were starting to build an American audience. We were starting to get into comic shops in America, and then suddenly, Diamond US just,
Yeah.
That was a blow. And I must say,
I'm always with that. I'm always thinking we've got to brace ourselves for the next shoe to fall on that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know there's no sign of it, but I'm,
it's delicate.
Best times. Yeah.
The industry is delicate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positivity going on, and I I'm positive too, and I admire the people who are. And the comics magazine, that's a really nice thing, and the stuff that's happening with Batman, Absolute Batman, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really positive.
That's
like
positive stuff. Yeah, and it's great. It's great that something can still happen like that.
Yeah,
and let's get the next Batman Absolute Batman. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep creating. DC have shown the way. How you succeed is you are inventive and you are, you take a risk. In all fairness, DC have never really shied away from trying that, and they've fallen on their face a lot, but they also tend to lead the way. And
they certainly are at the moment.
I mean, whether you like them or not, they did the New 52, and for all of it, whatever you say about it, that's a big shout.
I kind of feel that Marvel need to do that themselves.
Marvel need to do it.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I'm like massively behind you, Shane. I agree completely that the Absolute Batman thing is brilliant. I'm so pleased. But I think we're making the mistakes, or the hobby is making the mistakes of following some of them that were made in the 90s, is the speculator market is lifting again.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
The price of it is crazy. I mean, a first issue, first printing, I don't know what it is at the moment, but it's over £100, isn't it?
Oh, well over. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I've got one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm never going to sell it,
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
But it's stupid, and the speculator thing, in some ways it helps the industry because it maintains interest, but it can go too far, and it definitely went too far in the 90s. We all lived through that.
Dead Superman,
nearly the death of, very close to the death of the industry,
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for a few, isolated incidents that saved the industry, I don't think it would be here now. So we can't fall down that gap again. It's got to be about the work. It's got to be about the quality. It's got to be about getting the readers in that care about the comics and about the characters.
Yeah.
So how would a comic book shop like in the UK or abroad? How did they contact you about getting your books on their shelves? What's the best way to do it?
We're available through Diamond UK. So if you can order through Diamond UK, which I would point people to because obviously that's easier for them. But we do direct as well. If you want to, if any shop out there wants to stock our books, any of our books, all they need to do is contact me, and they will get. We give a 50% discount and free shipping. Nice. So pretty much the same as what they'll get from Diamond. We don't want to undercut.
Are you with Luna or anyone like that as well? Or?
No, I tried to get into Luna, and I had a dialogue with them, and it was always like, "Oh, we haven't got space. We haven't got space. We haven't got." And they were just fobbing me off. In the end, I just thought, you know what, I'll find another solution.
Okay.
We do sell in the US through Filbo Distribution, who have who've done a great job for us. We've had some really good sales through Filbo. They're with about, I think they've got about 600 stores now in the US. So that's nothing to sniff at.
Good man.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
And Phil, who runs it, really good guy, like hardworking. He's just a guy. He's got a full-time job and he runs this distribution. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say about what he's going to do next, because he's actually going to be doing something. He's shared it with me. There's going to be a game-changing thing that he's going to be offering to small press publishers.
Oh, interesting.
And if I'm allowed to say about it, I will say it in the Slack and I'll let people know.
Real.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because if you're a small press publisher and you want to get into US shops and you want to do it in such a way that you're not risking any money, this is going to be a game changer. I feel. I really do. I'm 100% behind it. So watch out for Filbo. I think they're going to be sort of disrupting things a little bit in
interesting.
US indie distribution. Really do. Nice. And I'm not just saying that. They've got something up their sleeve. I wish I knew if I could say. I'm not sure if I can say.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man.
Yeah. Well, you've always got something up your sleeve, Shane, and I know you don't sleep because you're making comics, you're thinking about comics, you're reading comics, and you're putting on events about comics. So God bless you and all who sail in you, my friend. You're doing good work. So for all our lovely listeners, again, just throw us some links for them to follow you and the event and everything else in between.
Cool. So the event is comicsassemble.net, and the website is scratchcomics.co.uk. I am on all the socials, but for the life of me, I don't know what the tags are. I never remember that shit.
Follow the comics. Follow the comics.
Follow the comics. Follow them. You can Google me actually, and you'll probably find it all. And also check out Comics Unity, which is my community for comics creators. It's like Facebook but without all the shit.
Oh, right.
And it's just for comics people. There's no algorithm, there's no adverts, there's no AI. It's just you can go on there and you can promote your stuff, you can talk to fans. It's a social media for comics people, basically. Comicunity.net.
Excellent.
So yeah. That's it, man.
Wow.
Thank you, man.
I tell you what. Give us another 3 months, and we'll have to call him again to find out the other 500.
Well, I wonder if we get a little taster, maybe the week or two before the event. That'd be good.
That'd be cool,
yeah,
man.
that'd
be great.
Yeah. Let's check in with you again, just to see how you're doing, Shane, in the lead.
See if I'm all right. Yeah.
It's like a welfare call.
I'll probably need it, guys. You know what I mean?
It's been amazing, man. Thank you.
Really good to talk to you guys, as always.
And welcome back. How was that? Loads of comics, events, and just all round just great.
That made me jump.
What made you jump? What?
We have a bit of a silent moment, don't we? Before, just to make it easier for the editing, we had a bit of a silent moment, and then you sort of jumped in quite loudly with that one, and it made me jump.
Does it scare you when I jump?
No, I just sort of settled into it being quiet, and I was sort of my mind
You're like,
drifting away.
This is nice,
and then you woke me up.
And we're back.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was.
Back in the room.
Yeah, we're back in the room. We're back in the house, and we've got plenty of comics to talk about this week, especially now that Tony's here. With a couple more, but of course, as well as the great events and comics that we just spoke about in that interview, there's even more stuff to discuss, isn't there, chaps? What shout-outs have we got this week?
I've got quite a few. So Gorehaus, issues 1 to 4, the third and fourth issues are the new ones of this one. We recommend this a couple of times. I think I've read, and you have, Vince. So I think it's on Kickstarter at the moment. It's called, as we speak, from the day of release of this, it's got about 12 days. Monsters and gore, with just a beautifully and very different style to it.
I love it.
Next one, Mary Boys, all stitched up, from Carl and Monica Stevens, is one of my favourite small press titles actually in the last few years. Where the Beano meets Grindhouse and Underground. Less than a week to go on Indiegogo. Going back that one, honestly, beautiful artwork, really, really nice stuff. The Rudolph Fisher's The Conjureman Dies, the new Kickstarter from Alan Lisker, our buddy. Looks great. I backed it, and so can you, over on Kickstarter. That's Storm the Beaches, and that one is doing really well. I've put a thing on the Slack. Dan Charnley, Hero of the Year at the 500th, said, I fancy doing, him and his brother want to come down again and do a comic mart. And he says, when's the next one? I said, there's one in May 10th or June 28th. If you go to the Slack, if you happen to be on the Slack, or if you're not and just want to message us, please do, as to know which one you would rather do. And we'll probably have a bit of a get together in the pub afterwards, sort of thing. So have a think about that one. And also grab the dates. I know I promised a few weeks ago to grab this for Newport Comic Marts. The next ones are the 27th of June and the 28th of November for those. I know that's something not too far from you, V.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's so good, I'd probably venture coming down for it again as well.
I've just circled the 27th of June there. I think
nice work, mate. Good. Keep me in the touch about that one. There you go. That's my ones.
Nice. Dan, what have you got?
I've got the Perfect Collection trade paperback, Perfect 10 issues 1 to 6, The Adventures of 10, The Artificial Assassin of Supervillains, are now collected in a hardcover and trade paperback. You can buy all the individual issues. I backed 6. Well worth checking out that one. We've got DMR, Shattered Man, One Unstoppable Conqueror, presenting DMR, an epic 72-page full-color sci-fi action comic adventure. That's got another 17 days to go.
Good thing about Kieron, he's not a busy man, is he, Kieron?
Fucking hell.
How much does he do? He does so much.
He's got another comic on the go while he's kind of doing this, so he's very busy all the time.
Yeah.
What a ledge. And I've got another shout out for Dan Charnley. He sent me a care package during the week.
Oh, nice work, man.
Of some comics, and they're fucking amazing. Great stuff, Dan. Cheers.
Dan, you are the loveliest monster in comics.
I always know whenever I put a terrible movie up that I've watched, he'll go, "Yep, nice work."
Yeah.
He's always seen it. Yeah.
I've got is that all from your list, Dan?
That's all for me.
I've got one more that you need to add to your another Kickstarter that you need to add and sign up, notify you on launch, and that is Ink Trooper Volume 1 from our good pal Edison Neo.
Nice.
This a collection of artwork, illustrations, covers, and commissions over the years. And if anyone follows him on Patreon, this is going to be a book of fucking amazing artwork. Big fan of Edison, artist from Singapore, and he's just absolutely smashing it at the moment. So
we keep waiting for people to catch on to him, don't we? He's one of those sort of artists.
Yeah. So this is Ink Trooper Volume 1. If you see that, you just go to the art page. He's already put up. He's done
notify me on launch.
He's done a if he's shown some of the stuff you're going to get there within the book, as well as an awesome cover of someone having like rulers and pens like weapons, and they're just firing at a pen like at one of the guns from Aliens. It's just going to be amazing. So add that, notify yourself on launch. I'm going to actually click on that and notify me now as well. Speaking of great comics to add to your wish lists, add to your pull lists, just be on the lookout for, or just genuinely maybe just read, then it's time to recommend some books, you lovely people. Tony, do you want to start us off?
I'm going to start off with the small press comic that is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 1026. The Return of Venom. Not a genuine Marvel comic, but a bootleg by our buddy Nate McDonna. He sent me through. Now, likewise, I got a care package from Nate. Very kind of him. But this comic by him and a comic by somebody else that he kindly sent me are what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm on his Patreon, which I also would 100% recommend as a great place to be. Now, right, is this just me having a dirty mind, or does that look like Venom is eating Spider-Man's arse?
There is a bit of that.
Yeah. I think that.
A little bit of that going on. I thought you liked brains.
Yes, it's in brains. Yeah. So this is a funny one. This did make me chuckle. It's full of crazy shit. The story rotates through a few different things. Opening and ending pages, there's a sort of autobiographical nature, which is Nate dressed as Spider-Man, I guess, giving advice to the reader, which is kind of cool. Another one is Aunt May is back in Queens trying to get medicine from her medical insurance and having real trouble doing it. Nice bit of social commentary. Nice, almost politics. Number 3, J. Jonah is walking about, being told not to smoke and getting pretty pissed off about it. That's another section of it. And then page after page of Venom literally ripping people asunder constantly.
Amazing.
Just full on all the way through. I'm just showing the boys some that's a double page spread of 4 images of him just ripping people up into pieces. Which, let's face it,
if you're listening on the
Substack,
right? There might be a couple of images. We might chuck a couple of images.
Awesome, yeah, that'd be great.
Through. Plus, then we get a picture of Stanley in bed being slapped so hard his teeth get knocked out. Because his nurse wants him to sign a load of Funkos. It's a touch of the nurse from Born Again. Do you remember that nurse who's just a fucking machine, like a killer? It's a bit of that in there somewhere as well. This is exactly what there's a bit of the auto bio in the back there, talking about comics, Spider-Man reading comics, a bit of a gut on him, but it's a kind of sort of OTT bootleg. What bootleg is there for? It's pretty. Feels like it's probably been printed on a printer. And photocopied kind of feel to it, but it's all I want from that. I want Venom eating Spider-Man's arse, and I want lots of gore in it. The rest, some of it is just like so brightly coloured it makes me laugh. There's I'm showing the boys a couple of pages of J. Jonah Jameson just being pissed off.
Lovely colours in that.
Yeah, really good. You just go to Grixley, look for Grixley on Instagram, and you can follow the links to this. But The Amazing Spider. I've been told by Greg that this is flying off the shelves in Gosh. Greg was telling me the other day.
Fantastic.
So that's good. Good to know. Yeah, that's my first one, guys. There you go.
Nice. Dan, what have you got?
I've got Killtopia Phantoms, issue 1. Neo Tokyo / Halloween. A mass mind hack forces thousands of citizens to see their worst fears come to life before their eyes, causing ordinary people to turn on each other in a violent rage. The death toll is unimaginable. So this carries on from the Killtopia series, which a lot happens on. So, but this book you can kind of jump in without having to read Killtopia, but it's a good foundation, obviously, if you read it beforehand. It's very much inspired by anime such as sort of Ghost in the Shell and cyberpunk stuff straight from the rip. I mean, if you like Killtopia, you're going to love this. Clark Bint's artwork, fucking hell, this dude he's so good. He's really something else. I follow him on Instagram, and I've seen him post up work in progress pages on this. His kind of like the foreshortening he does is so good. I really like it. I'm just a big fan. Really enjoyed it. I kind of want the next issue. So if you can make that happen, please, Dave Cook, who's who's writing. We've got. Let me give you the credits on who's doing what, because I'd miss if otherwise. Written by Dave Cook, art by Clark Bint, colours by Emma Osterhus, and letters by Micah Myers. Absolutely love stuff. Great stuff.
Nice.
I met Micah Myers in Heroes. Nice guy.
Oh, nice. That's a name that I've always seen. I've seen in comics for quite a few years. Yeah.
Can't help but think of Halloween.
Yeah, maybe his name is Michael.
Michael Myers.
Yeah. Halloween and not Austin Powers. You know what I'm saying.
I know he's disappeared though, isn't he, that guy from Austin Powers? I don't really see him anymore. You don't really see him, do you?
No.
For years.
Yeah.
No, I think he fell off. He did that Love Guru film, and I think that kind of...
That's over a decade ago, isn't it?
When you do like a racial Indian stereotype, it's kind of... you kind of misjudged that.
Yeah.
Didn't he do like voiceovers? He's got Shrek or something?
He's got the Shrek money. Yeah, he is Shrek.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yeah. Well, yes, listeners, we did just get Tony caught up on Shrek.
Not as bad as that guy in fucking Short Circuit 1 and 2.
Oh, God.
What, the dude who was married to Michelle Pfeiffer?
Was he? I think now.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's back in there, isn't he?
And then he made Short Circuit 1 and 2.
She was loving all the makeup stuff, and then when he took that, I was like, oh, it's awful. Take that guy.
Dan, fucking hell, Dan.
He's Lex Luthor. He's Lex Luthor in... Is it Smallville?
No, he's not.
In the CW. No, in the CW, he's Lex Luthor.
What? No, he's not in Smallville.
CW.
He's not in Smallville.
No, he's not in Smallville. No, but in the CW mixed universe, he's in the multiverse episodes as Lex Luthor, I think.
Wow.
I want to have a look at that.
Yeah.
And he also directed the documentary about David Beckham.
No way.
Yes, he did.
Final fact: he was the bad guy in Hackers.
Yep.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Yep, he was. Okay, my recommend this week is a book from Ablaze Comics. Are Ablaze still going? That's I expected that, Paul.
I think
I'm
so.
not quite sure.
I used to be on their mailing list, but they seem to have stopped. Maybe they're getting more spam now.
This is one. Yeah, this is one that came out a few years ago, and I think Ablaze did a lot of translated books, didn't they? I think there was a Conan one.
The Sumerian.
Yeah, the Sumerian. I think that was it a French or Spanish book? I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in France. Yeah.
But there was a book that was always on sort of my sort of in the periphery, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to check it out just because I like the title. And have you ever done that where you just like the word of a title and you're like, oh, what's that about?
Yeah. I buy fucking comics for anything.
Yeah. And I've always liked the phrase Gung-Ho. Right.
Oh, I read this. It's good.
Right.
Yeah. And this got sent to us.
This was
first issue.
That must have been fucking years.
As a review copy years ago.
Years ago. And either I forgot that or I read, but I was on Global and it was there. They had a whole bunch of issues. I thought and this was a while ago. I thought I'm going to give this a go. So I started the first issue. This is from Benjamin von Eckertsberg, and the artist is Thomas von Kumant. The translation is by Ivanka Harnenberger. Good shout to put in the translator, I think, on these books. There's some cover art as well. Now these are books from like 2020. If you go to the Ablaze website, there are there's a volume 1 and a volume 2 of Gung-Ho as it's been completed. I mean, I was drawn in also by the covers as well. But what is Gung-Ho? It's a post-apocalyptic story, which I know sometimes a lot of us will be like, roll your eyes, because there was a plague that
don't mind that.
Yeah, decimated the planet's population. So civilization has changed. There's lots of safe havens. We know the drill. There's The Walking Dead, The Last of Us. You know what it's like. You're out in the wastelands. There's the deadly things that can get you, and there's these small bastions of humanity, and that's what you focus on Gung-Ho. But what I liked about this, because sometimes these sort of stories go kind of nowhere, is Gung-Ho focuses on the teenage, that the youngsters, the young people that then become teenagers, and that rebellious sort of, they can be over the top violent. They've just got bad attitude. They're hormonal. There's all of this stuff going up. And we get so used to a lot of these, oh god, so tough. Just just you've got to search for all these survival, supplies, and it's so grim and gritty. And of course, there's and the actual sort of there are monsters on the outside that are really cool. I didn't when they actually appeared. I thought, whoa, that isn't what I thought it was going to be, because I was expecting it to be the zombies or mutants or something. So when I saw what it was, I was like, that's pretty cool actually. But because it's the focus of these sort of young upstarts. It puts a different spin on it, and I'll say, when I first started it, the art's beautiful. It's got a sort of, it's comic book artwork, you can definitely tell, but almost I think they've gone over digitally and sort of done colouring, and the way they're doing it is soft colours. There's a lot of sunlight, there's a lot of green grass, lush sort of fields, and it's not what you think. You probably think that every comic like this is going to be like Snowpiercer. This is not. The kids are wearing bright colours. They've got like logos on them. There is a deadly world out there, but we're following these two brothers, Zach and Archer Goodwoody. Where it seems that ever since they lost their parents, whenever they go to different places, eventually they get kicked out, and they end up at Fort Apache, which is almost the last one. And of course, they're meeting the other young people there, the bullies, the nice kids, the girls they like. There's all of that going on. And at first, when I first looked at it, when I first sort of glanced at the book, I thought this was going to be more action orientated because of the title. And I was just flicking through it, and I thought, it's just a lot of talking and not much sort of happening. So I sort of put it to one side for a bit. Have you ever had that when you glance through and you just think, I think this is going to be a slow book, I'll put that to the side?
Yeah.
And then when I sat down to actually read it, I was like, I get it. Do you know what I mean? Because everything has, all the words are there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be blowing things up all the time. So that when you get a couple, few issues in, and it's not like nothing happens in the issues, there are definite stakes all the way through. But when these moments happen, and there's certainly some of the scenes get quite big in certain points, I was like, I was in it. And it was a quick read rather than me thinking, it's just lots of people talking. And I need to train my brain out of thinking if I see lots of speech bubbles, it's going to be a slow read. Do you ever have that? It's like sometimes you see lots of speech bubbles definitely. And you're like,
yeah.
Whereas this one, I just kept going. I was just going issue and issue. I was involved. I was definitely. I like these characters because these aren't always likable characters. Like, I think Archer, who's like the older brother, he's a dickhead. He's an absolute dickhead who doesn't respect any. He acts like a complete prick when all these other things are going on. But then, later on in the story, and I think it goes across a couple of arcs. I think the first one's called Black Sheep, and then it moves on to. They've all got different subtitles. I kind of got a bit lost with how many issues have been out actually, so I kind of need to find. 2 collections of it.
Right, yeah.
Because following it on Global, I wasn't quite sure. Is this the follow-on from this series? Because it felt like this series ended, but there was another couple of issues. Am I missing a couple of issues?
Yeah.
It was easy enough to read, though. Looks beautiful. If you see Gung-Ho, if you see the covers, you're just like, that just looks really cool. It's really striking. If you just go for the visuals, it's fantastic. It's not a supremely graphic or gory book, so it's fairly, but there is a little bit of nudity, and there are some adult themes and some darker bits later on in the tale that aren't supremely graphic, but maybe uncomfortable for some. But Gung-Ho for me, big thumbs up. I'm looking for. I've all caught up, and I don't think I've finished it because it just kind of finished. So I kind of need to get the digital ones from somewhere or get the books or something. So yeah, Gung-Ho from Ablaze. If you see it on your travels, pick it up. It'll be worth it.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Tony, finish us off. Ooh.
So mine was also sent through to me by Nate in his little care package as a sort of thank you for coming on the pod and all that sort of thing. Distant Flame issue 1 by Lane Milburn. I was trying to think, where have I seen his work before, or their work before? And I realised it was in 2021. Fantagraphics did a book called Lure, Lure. And I think we mentioned it back then. It's actually pretty good. Don't be confused by it. Although slightly confusingly, the name Distant Flame is also the name of a zine of his from a few years ago as well.
Okay.
So just be careful when you're buying it. This is Act 1, The Law of Contagion. Nice big format, big cardstock cover. gatefold kind of cover thing.
That's great.
Red and black image on the cover of Isa, who's a character in it, riding a bike, and the interiors are all black and white. I'm putting I hate to sort of compare artist to artist, but I'm putting this is a bit of Los Bros Jaime to Dearth. There's a little bit of everything for me in this somehow. A little bit of those two mixed up together. And it basically tells the ups and downs of a metal band, black metal specifically. I don't understand categorizations of metal bands. I know Vince does. But they're slightly more fucked up than their music, put it that way.
As is the way sometimes with some of those bands.
Yeah. So it starts on, I think, it's hard to tell because you're still working out this mystery that's going on in it. But it starts in what I think is a flash forward. And then we go back later in the book and hear the story that leads up to it. And there's 3 big panels, all in there. You're in a clearing at night, and Keith, who's kind of is the singer, is killing a man, strangling him, whilst the drummer Dev, who's kind of our protagonist, is just watching dead-eyed. He's got these sort of glasses, and you can't see through the glasses to the eyes, so he sort of sits there with just these sort of blank glasses. And he's strangling someone on the floor in this.
I love that effect on artwork when people do that with glasses.
Yeah, I think it works sometimes because he's kind of at moments quite unemotional, this character. And then I think what we do is we travel back in time to Dev, and he's on a bus traveling to Chicago to meet the band and also do a podcast interview. And we began to see the sort of vibe and feeling and interactions and how they all work as a band. And there is some occult and esoteric shit. And some nostalgia for old media. They talk about tapes and mini discs and all this sort of thing as well. There's also some story in it about dreams that get you wondering what the implications and the reality is of those first 3 pages. So they discuss this sort of occult shit, and they discuss the meanings of dreams, and they're obviously this sort of dark metal band, and there's a bit of darkness going on, and there's a lot of gear, drugs being taken, and you wonder, was that real or not? The start. You don't find out this issue because it's a series. They end up in the country doing this interview with this podcast. This old head metal music journo. They go out to the countryside and roar about in motorbikes and sit in a field doing Charlie off CD covers and stuff like that. And and you realise that there's not all is normal between, especially in relation to one romantic relationship between 2 of them. And you realise that this Dev has got some dark secrets, as has the lead singer. And he says this thing, which I love, this sentence: "I was part of the disintegration of all things." And it describes so many things in it. It's such a lovely line. This dropped at Short Run, Seattle last year, which is quite a cool little undergroundy, outlawy, alternative convention in America, in Seattle. It's a great way of setting up the history of a band. And I love the way you find out about the dynamics of the band because the dude is interviewing them. So they're not just walking in a room going, "Oh, hello, John the singer. I'm Brian the drummer." It's not like that. It's like, "Well, how long have you been drumming for the band? How did you guys meet?" The sort of normal music journo questions, but they set out the whole history and the vibe and the situation and the dynamics you're seeing. Like I say, Jaime and Dearth, if they sat down together and drew a comic between them, I kind of get a sense of that mixed in with a little bit of the Short Run vibe. I'm not sure. I've never read this before. I don't know how it's never reached me before. Maybe I missed it on the shelf at Gosh or something, because it's the sort of thing I can see Gosh would have. I know they stocked Nate, and I'm sure Nate would have repped it. But I'm definitely on to issue 2. Really liked it. The cover's a little bit misleading. That motorbike thing isn't. If you saw that, you think, is this about motorbike racing? It's like a woman who's into motorbike racing. It's not in the slightest. Maybe the eyes, there's sort of these glowing eyes in the sky sort of thing, which might be part of it. But a little bit misleading. But then again, that might be part of the charm of it. I don't know. It might be sort of switch up kind of thing. You go to Instagram, Lane_MILBURN Milburn, www.lanemilburn.bigcartel.com. You can buy that along with some other stuff that they've got on their site as well. So my second one is Distant Flame, The Law of Contagion, Act 1.
Nice. What a cavalcade of comics we've got for you this week. There was an awful lot of titles we mentioned, a lot of creators were mentioned, especially if you count the interview as well. And we had a jolly old time. So we don't feel sorry about adding to your wish list in any way, shape or form. But if there is anything you'd like us to talk about, or if you have an indie comic that you'd like us to check out, there's several different ways you can get in touch with us. You can email us, awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Insta, at the awesomepod on X. You can follow us on Substack. Just search for the Awesome Comics Podcast, where you'll get these episodes, and we've got a couple of ideas for do some things. I'm going to say I need to ask the chaps how to do Substack.
It's not. If I can do it,
and if you another way to support the show is to buy some threads from acpgear.redbubble.com. Helps keep the lights on, and so we can buy all those drugs. I mean comics. Because comics
drugs would be cheaper.
Yeah. You don't get a speculator market in drugs, do you? Anyway,
and don't forget to go and vote if you want to meet us. If you want to come down to the Comic Mark, don't forget to go on the Slack and have a vote. Let us know what the 2 dates would be good.
If you are listening to this and you want to get involved with a great community of people from all over the world who just talk about comics and the positivity, there are art threads, there are convention threads, there's keep the conversation going threads, all kinds of things. Get in touch with us. You can join the app. Slack. It's basically like a forum. It's like a Discord. It's our version of Discord, basically. The Awesome Comics Podcast.
Like an OG forum, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a lovely place to be, and it's brought creators together. So get involved. So join us there. And where did you hear us? Perhaps it was on awesomecomics.podbean.com, on the Podbean app, or perhaps you're on Apple Podcasts. Then leave a nice review and get us pushed up those charts. Because algorithms and all that, I love seeing Tony's eyebrows lift whenever I say things like that. We're also on Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What networks are we on, Tony?
We're on the Pod Network. Is that the mysterious fox? I fucking hope not.
Wonderful stuff.
Character.
It's wonderful stuff. This. What hasn't been a mystery is how much fun this week has been. So thank you for joining us. Where can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
Neverwriteanything.com.
Nice. Dan?
You can find me on Twitter at Vanguard Comic, and you can be Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com.
Oh, bless him. He's feeling a bit under the weather.
You're right, you're feeling a bit rough
normally, I mean, he's obviously someone's dropped kryptonite in his tea, because nothing can stop this. Nothing can stop this man. He'll be back stronger than ever next week.
Yeah.
Unlike me, I'll probably get out of bed and just turn the wrong way and it's something to snap. You can follow me on social media at Just the Diablo. Join us back next week for another exciting couple of guests and exciting books to talk about. Until then, from everyone here in ACP Towers, have a brilliant week. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're happy, healthy, doing okay. It's a mad world out there, but at least we've got our comics. And whilst you're reading them, there's something else that they should do. I've forgotten what it is. What is it, chaps?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Indeed. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.